Hello and good afternoon. This is Kit Cabela of Heartlands Media. Today I'm joined here with Drew Knobloch. He is one of the organizers for Illinois 14, Indivisible Illinois 14 to be more precise. And you are joining us here at the Q4 Radio Studio. So Drew, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So essentially for our viewers and subscribers, can you at least explain to us what your organization is about, how it was founded, and really your overall goals here in Illinois?
Okay. Yeah, we founded the organization after we saw a spot on the Rachel Maddow show about Indivisible. And living in McHenry County, we were interested to see if there was another group that was organized in our area. And finding none, we just went ahead and started one, not really knowing much about political organizing or politics in general. We started out with a few people online. I think in our first couple of weeks we maybe had 25 or 30 members. We met once before the inauguration and we had about 10 people there. And then after the inauguration and when the political climate started really being more known, the group grew tremendously. We're now close to 1,100 members on our Facebook group, and we do a lot of in-person meetings as well as a lot of organizing specifically around getting out the vote. So in McHenry County, where we are, in our last primary election just a couple weeks ago, there were about 21% of the voters that voted.
Were these brand new voters?
No, that's total. So, you know, you look at our political climate, a lot of people online that have very strong opinions, but we aren't translating that into voters getting out to the polls. And that's really what matters.
So let's actually talk about voter outreach. So, of course, what a lot of people may not know is that on March 20th was the primary here in Illinois. It was for the Republicans, Democrats, and to a lesser extent the independent parties as well. So really, what was your organization's challenges in regards to getting people out to not only register to vote, but to go out and vote? And what were the kind of conversations that you had to people who were critical of our current system?
Yeah. Well, one of the things we've been stressing in Illinois is your ability to vote by mail. So a lot of people have a consternation about going out to a polling place on one specific day during specific hours because they may be working or they have other responsibilities where they can't get out to a polling place. And in Illinois, you can get a ballot for any of the elections. You just have to request it. There are a lot of states that have already changed that, where their primary method of voting is by mail. And we'd like to see that come about in Illinois as well, but it's going to be a little bit of an effort. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. But basically, one of the things that we wanted to stress to people is that this isn't just a primary. You know, when you look at the folks that were on the ballot on March 20th, it was, yes, a primary for some of your major positions, but it's also the one and only election for your party representatives. So the state central committee and your precinct committeeman, that was the only election. So there's not going to be any other. And if you want to have a say in what happens in your party or who the leadership is, that was your one chance to get out and vote for those folks.
So it was Indivisible Illinois, especially in the 14th district. What's the overall makeup of the people who are participating in this group? Is it just Democrats? Is it independents? Is it a combination? Who's really making part of it? Are Republicans part of this?
Yeah, we don't ask people when they join, you know, what their political affiliations are. It's really open to anybody. Our organizing issue is really just about the current administration and issues that are happening, you know, constitutional crises in the existing administration. So if that's of concern to you, then you're welcome in our group.
Now, of course, money in politics plays a huge role in our democracy. At the state level, at the federal level, the person with the most money usually wins. And here in Illinois, we're going to go down in history as the most expensive governor's race in American history between our current governor, the Republican, Governor Bruce Rauner, and his challenger, J.B. Pritzker, who won the Democratic nomination on March 20th. And it's going to be basically a clash between two billionaires.
Right.
So essentially, one, how do you get people excited to vote, especially during the general election for the midterm of 2018? And two, what is the overall conversation within your group about these two individuals who are going to be running for a very key seat for 2018?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think one example that you can look at is the state central committee race in Illinois 14. We had an incumbent, and then we had Peter Janko, who was running. He ran his whole campaign on less than $1,000 and was able to win that race. So I think it's a fallacy that people ascribe to, is that whoever has the most money or spends the most money wins. Every time you walk into that voting booth, you have the opportunity to make a decision about a person who aligns with your values or who doesn't. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how much money they've spent. This is our primary goal, is to get information to the voters so that they can decide for themselves which candidate best aligns with their personal values and where they want to see the state going. And I think for Illinois in particular, this election is so critical. We've spent several years under Rauner with his turnaround policies, and I think we're still in as bad or worse position than we were when he started. So it's critical for people to get out and vote for the leadership, both of the party and for our state and especially our local governments. So a lot of people don't understand that their local representatives, either county board or your village trustees, have enormous amount of power over your daily lives and things that affect you every day.
Now, 2020 is going to be here in 2 years, and it's going to be the presidential election cycle. And between now and then, especially even before the general midterm election cycle that happens, people have always said that they haven't been informed. Are you running any kind of programs to inform perhaps new voters or people who once used to vote and now are trying to vote again? Like, are you running programs to at least inform people, hey, this seat's is up for election, or this person is running for this seat, here's what you need to know? Are you running any kind of programs like that to inform people?
Yeah, what we're doing so we've got a Facebook group, and we're very active on other social media as well, Twitter and Instagram, and we are retweeting any candidate whose district touches the 14th district. Mm-hmm. So if you're running for, say, a village trustee or a county position that touches the 14th district, please feel free to post information about your candidacy and your events in our group. We would love to retweet you on Twitter. Follow us, and we'll get your word out. So that's part of what we're doing, is just making people actively aware. Several weeks ago, we had a candidate forum. In the 14th district, there were 7 candidates that were running for the Democratic nomination. And so we had like a trade show. All 7 candidates were invited. We had 6 of them there, but folks could just come in at their own leisure. So a lot of times people hold a candidate forum, and it's a strict question and answer format where you have to devote 2 or 3 hours of your time to go and attend this. This was, you could come and go as your schedule dictated, go around, talk to all the candidates, get a feel for who they are personally. And so we'd love to hold more of those as well to get the word out to people.
And 2-part question, where can our viewers and subscribers learn more about your organization? And 2, what do you want to say to people who are choosing not to get actively involved in politics?
Well, I was one of those people. I will say that prior to 2016, I voted in every presidential election. Most of the time I voted in midterm elections, but not always. But you can really see how important it is to have a voice in your government. People can find out more about us at indivisible.il14.com, and on Facebook, look for Indivisible IL14 group, and we also have a public page.
All right, that's a very good note to end it on. Thank you so much for joining Heartland Media. Peace, everyone. Let's all do what we can to build a better future.
You're watching Hard Lens Media.